Hi, boys and girls. So I wanted to continue our study of the music staff. So as we are getting ready to start this, it's going to be a step-by-step process. I know that last week we kind of did some stations and you guys worked around in different groups and you worked on drawing the staff. This week, I'm providing it for you. It's a little larger than what we might normally get used to. This is the other version, but this kind of gets a little bit small and kind of hard to read, especially with the markers. So I thought that we would start with this. So, second graders, you guys are numbering the staff, okay? So we always start at the very bottom, like a ladder. So think of going from low to high. Sorry, it's Friday. Low, low, high. So we're going to start on the lowest line and climb up. So I'm going to put a number 1 on that line. And then after number 1, tell me what comes after 1? 2. So the trick here is to make sure that the number goes through the line because we call that a line note, okay? So I'm going to do the rest of the numbers. Now, how many lines do we have on our staff? Correct. 5. I hope you said 5. 5 lines. Good. Now, we are going to circle those numbers like this. Circle every number. And now I'm going to color them. And I have line notes. Okay? Now, I want you to do that same thing again. I want you to do the same exact thing again. Number the lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start at the bottom. Circle the line notes and then color them in. I'm going to do it while you do it. Go ahead and start. I know some of you are finishing before me, but make it nice and neat. Musicians want to have nice, neat music so we can read it. So when we start writing melodies, you can read those melodies. Right? Okay, boys and girls, this is what your staff should look like. I bet some of you have them that look like this. If it looks like that, let's erase it and try again. Or maybe yours looks like this. That's okay. That's okay. But I think this size kind of fits the proportions of the staff. We won't be too picky, but this is definitely not correct because that line is now touching the other line and it's not very clear where my line notes are, okay? Sometimes I see kids do this. Okay, look how big my numbers are. Whoa, that's really clear, right? But then once you start drawing those circles around, it kind of gets a little fuzzy, right? Okay. I also run out of marker when I do it that way. So let's write nice and clearly. Now you should have a marker. Don't mind Benjamin behind me. That's my son. I'm doing this after school. All right, so I'm just erasing my board with my little sock eraser. Yes, they were socks, but they were clean and brand new, so they're all perfect for erasing your board. It might take some elbow grease. We'll scrub. All right, now we're doing space notes. All right, second grade, space notes. Spaces are kind of tricky. The spaces between the two lines. So watch what I do with my numbers. Do you see that? Notice how the top of my one and the bottom of my one touch the line, but they don't go over the lines, right? Okay, big numbers, fill that space. But try not to go over it because that's going to be very important. Space notes go between the lines, not over the lines. Okay. Now I circled my numbers, just like before when we did our line notes. And now I'm coloring them in. And guess what? Do it all over again. So now you do the same exact thing one more time. Number your spaces. And then circle the spaces. Circle your numbers, okay? Okay, so we have this 2 times. Now for good measure, why don't we just write at the bottom that these are space notes. You know, everybody learns differently, and some people like to write things to remember them. So remember that these are space notes. Okay, I'm going to hold it here for about 5 more seconds. And you can pause it if you need to, Miss Ford. All right, I'm going to stop. All right, so erase again. Put that elbow grease into it. Gotta scrub hard. Now what are we gonna do? Well, it's always fun to practice drawing treble clefs because those are kind of tricky, and they're the beginning of any kind of music staff. So let's practice that, and then we're going to be done with the writing for today. Okay? So start with your blank space, and then you're going to draw that really long line that goes all the way from the top and over down through all of the lines. Okay? Then I draw a little P at the top, tiny little P that touches the top line. And then I take that P and I go around and make a fancy G. So I wish that this was easier. I'm going to show you on one of these boards just because it's hard and I can do it while I'm looking at you. So I drew that long line, draw that tiny P, and then you draw this big fancy G that curls around like that. And then draw again, little P, big fancy G, whoopee. Now, you could probably fit 4 or 5 on here, so why don't you try to draw 4 or 5 treble clefs today. Don't get frustrated, and it's okay if it doesn't look perfect because you are learning, and that's part of the process. It's not going to look like me, who's been practicing music. I've been teaching 18 years, and I've been a musician since I was in 2nd grade. So yours may not look like mine, and that's okay. Maybe one day when you're my age, you can have treble clefs that look this way. But please work on trying. That's what we're asking for, okay? So this is our lesson for this part today. Now I think there's going to be a game you guys can play where you're numbering the lines and spaces. And always remember that we start at the bottom. So this is our hand staff, okay? So turn your hand sideways. You should be looking at your palm like, mwah, right? Okay, and let's count. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. Now the spaces are between the fingers. Space 1, space 2, space 3, space 4. And that should help you when you're practicing and doing your game. Okay, so good luck. I hope everyone has a wonderful time in this lesson and enjoy.